All right, well, good morning, everybody. I have right at 9 o'clock. I will apologize in advance if it's noisy on my end when I unmute. I'm working from home this morning. We're having some work done in our home, so please bear with me. So this was actually our last meeting of the year, and we will send out some more information about what next year is going to look like. I personally feel like the Zoom option is working great for property management. We've tripled, quadrupled our attendance in some cases versus our in-person meetings. I will certainly be discussing with the chair and vice chair about how they want 2021 to look. But I think that we will largely stick with a virtual option for folks and maybe, plan something a little bit more special and fun when we do get together in person when we're able to do so. But I do think that these virtual meetings are working very well. If anybody feels differently, please let me know. But the goal is certainly to have this content be as accessible for folks as possible. And I know it can be a challenge with y'all being so busy to get down to the FAR office on a regular basis. So please stay tuned for that. We'll be coming out with more information about the 2021 schedule, hopefully before the holidays. I do want to say hello to Dawn. I see that Dawn's on the phone. Dawn, I won't put you on the spot, but just wanted you to say hi. Dawn is our chair, for those of you who don't know Dawn. I'm sure everybody does, though. Hey, Dawn.
Hello.
Well, I'm very lucky today to be joined by Josie Ramos from MICA. Certainly the organization MICA is no stranger to FAR and to our group, but they have some really exciting information to talk to you all about today. As I'm sure most of you are dealing with, if you're working with buyer clients, there's just not a lot in the market. And that is certainly true in the property management market as well. So there's definitely that churn through properties is just not happening. You're not seeing those properties come on the market either from the for sale side or certainly on the rental side. So she is here to talk about some really exciting opportunities for some property owners that you have. And please ask questions. This is your opportunity to get this information. We will be broadcasting this, sending this out as a recording. So if there's somebody in your office who's not able to watch it, no fear, we will put it out there when we're done. So with that, there's no questions. I will move on and introduce Josie Ramos. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. I myself, Josie, and my supervisor, also the director of housing here at MICA Ministries, Peg Phillips.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Good. Enjoying this last day of gorgeous weather. Thank you for being on here, being out in the sunshine.
No problem. I appreciate coming on board, and we have a lot of exciting things. To see where to start. Is this interactive? Is everyone able to talk back, or is everyone just listening to me?
Yes, certainly want this to be interactive. Folks, if you want to say something, feel free to unmute and do that way. If you would rather type your question out in the chat, I will be monitoring the chat the whole time. So either way is just fine.
Wonderful. Oh, I see some of our partners here. Mr. Clay Murray. Good morning. And Linda Murray there. So good morning, everyone. Lisa, is that Lisa? No, it's not. It's Nicole. She looks like a Lisa there. So I am the community housing locator, not just for MICA Ministries. For Stable Homes Partnership is a network that was formed through with MICA Ministries, Thurman Brisbane, Hope House, as well as Empower House. So they share me in my efforts. I also am one person and I have another partner here, another housing locator, Joan Diaz. She's not here with us this morning. And we work together. Right now we're working towards 95 households in 90 days that we're looking to house. We're not there yet. I want to go a little bit into what the program is, what we have to offer for the community, and what we need from you as the community. Before I get going, do you want to say anything? No? Okay. So just jump right in there. For the first time that I know of, and also here in our region, we have obtained sufficient funds to house every single person that we have accounted for. And for right now, our goal is 95 households. It's not 35 people. There could be more than one person in their household, but 95 households in 90 days. So that started October 1st and it goes through December 24th, Christmas Eve. And this incentive for the community and landlords is that you rent to any of our households, guest clients. Not only do we pay fair market value, but we also do give you an incentive of equal to 1 month's rent, not as commission, but that's for the owner, the landlord, whichever may be it. That's completely for you. You don't have to keep it in escrow or anything. That's our bonus to you, in a sense of gratitude as well. And that's that. I start with that. So there's money in it for you. And also for your owners that you're representing as well. This could be a cash bonus for them. I know that right now with the CARES Act and things of that nature, there's some landlords that are hurting, have not been paid. Maybe people are lingering, due to COVID. I can't get out of the house. I can't pay my rent. We hope that this is a good balancer and at least a little bit of a help that we can provide for you. Does anybody know exactly what Stable Homes Partnership is? Anyone know our housing program? Or should I just start from scratch? Start from scratch there? All right. So we are a subsidized, it's not Section 8, we're a subsidized grant-funded program that is geared towards helping our homeless community become independent and back as a strong person in our community. This program offers not only financial assistance towards rent, it does offer as well guidance, mental health resources, food resources, community resources. We've been here at MICA through our motels, stays. As you know, we're able to house our homeless in motels for temporary housing. We even started a street church, MICA Street Church, even started from those efforts. They did that themselves, of course, with the help of all the volunteers and our staff. Not only did as a community, and we can say this overall in Fredericksburg, we fed them, we worshiped with them, and now our next stage is to house them. It's our job to do that. All of us would hate to put them back in the streets after we brought them in from COVID. So this is why this is so important. This program follows them through their whole journey of homelessness to home. And this program gives them housing. So let me go back a little bit. So once we took them out of the motel, took them off the streets, put them in motels. This is families, individuals, veterans, all walks of life. They're now settled there. They've got resources. We've been able to work with them here at MICA Ministries as well as other agencies, obtain income, obtain disability income, identifications, a lot of resources that we take for granted. So they're ready. They have identification, they have income, and if they don't have income, they have us. That's what this program is all about. And not only that, but now that they have those things, we now have case managers that are assigned to them, even before housing. They have a relationship with them. They know each other. Our case managers are somewhat like social workers, mentors. These people will go into their motels, which will follow them to the new housing, and they will help them with budgeting. They will help them with other resources, make sure they're independent and they're thriving in our community, being good neighbors and things of that nature. So you get, with the Keys for Christmas and Stable Homes Partnership, you not only are helping housing, but you're also helping that growth. And you have that case manager come along with that client. So you're not just getting a tenant and saying, here you go, figure it out. Good luck with that. No, you're not getting that. You're actually getting a complete community, and all the pieces are very important together. And the social worker, case manager, housing navigator, whichever one you want to call it, every agency has a different name, but these individuals will go from lease application to lease signing to walkthroughs to inspecting the property as well as the tenant and making sure everything is running smoothly at least once a month. Every 3 months, we review their situation. We even update the landlord if there's any changes in income and things of that nature. So you truly are getting a complete package with the Stable Homes Partnership. Let's see, I would think as a property manager, you would wonder, how is this different than Section 8? How is your home eligible? I myself, or my partners, will come out to the property once you've shared interest into becoming a partner, which you can do that on our website. There is a Google form, and I'll give you the website shortly. You fill that out. You show interest in the program. I would come to your home, inspect the home or your investment property. I would inspect it, make sure it's habitable. We're not looking for HGTV homes. We're looking for habitable, affordable homes. We could make it look like HGTV with all the donations from our community, which we do receive in our warehouse. And we also provide them furniture when they move in. So you're not going to have somebody in a tent in the middle of your living room. They will come completely furnished. We do, like I said, we are a complete community for them. Let me see here. So I will come and inspect the home. Once it passes habitability, we will then offer you an application from one of our clients. You, as the property manager, landlord, owner, still have choice on who you accept to rent your home, as they do have a choice to which home they rent. It's always client choice, and of course property manager choice as well. We do pay a fair rent value based on Virginia guidelines. And once we go to the lease sign, you approve them and we go to lease signing, we give you your security deposit as you need. As you stay, if it's for 1 month's rent or 2 months rent, whichever it may be. And we do also pay first month's rent, security deposit, and the keys for Christmas bonus. So if the rent is $1,000, your bonus will be $1,000, and you get that at the signing of the lease. That is a separate check that you get to keep for yourself. Any questions so far? I know it's early.
Josie, do you have a maximum?
A maximum budget?
Yes.
It depends. So the total answer is yes, there's always a maximum. That's a simple answer. We house from individuals. This could be someone that's on Social Security and might need a roommate to make that rent affordable in the long run, because of course our goal is to get them independent so we don't have to subsidize forever. It's not like Section 8. Our minimum, there is no minimum. If you want to charge us $100, that's great. But if not, to be realistic, we're looking at about 1 bedrooms around $750 and up, and up to a 4-bedroom, which is the largest that I've housed, and I'm looking at no more than about $1,500 or $1,600. That's why I say we don't need. We're not looking for the new construction. We're looking for affordable housing. We're looking for that duplex because it's shared and it could be a lot more affordable. So I've signed leases as high as $1,800 a month. It all depends on the need of the family. I do house for the households of family members, could be anywhere from 2 to 4 kids. So of course the budget is higher. Parents do work. Not all of our people are unemployed. And they could afford more. What they need is more of our resources, our community. And we still do that as well. But anywhere from $750 to like $1,500 for the larger houses is what's appreciated. And we're, not only are we short in inventory, but that price range is a little difficult to keep. So with that being said, our partnership comes with a whole lot more than just a tenant. We partner with our landlords, and we have some actively that, if a refrigerator goes out, again, we receive donations abundantly in our warehouse, and we have an extra refrigerator. We want to keep your costs down as your owner. We'd be happy to donate it forward. Not only is our family that we house, are they benefiting from it, but also what we're all benefiting from it. The least expenses out of your pocket, the more affordable the rent will be. We're not a property management company at all. However, we're a partnership that respects the job of a property management company.
They have one.
I'm sorry?
Catherine, did you say something? We couldn't hear you. All right. Hey, Catherine, one last chance. Did you say something?
No.
Oh, okay. It's all right.
Well, as
That's
a
just one
committee,
example.
So
sorry.
Josie, I just wanted to let folks know, and I know that some people are familiar, as a committee, as a property management committee, we have partnered, ideally with the Stable Homes Partnership for a few years now. Our goal was, if you might remember that meeting we did a few summers ago where we brought in folks to talk about the program. We brought in Clay Mahulides of Chrismar Realty because he's been a partner for a long time, to talk about the program. And the goal was, to really get that information and sort of remove some of the fear of participating with a nonprofit or government program. And this was a few years ago, and the big issue was lack of supply and inventory. So now fast forward to, a pandemic, and I was on a call not long ago, and I can't even remember who we were talking to. I think I was on a call with the local jurisdictions, and I don't know if Josie can speak to this. To a certain extent, they rely on the eviction process to have new affordable units open up. And since we're not having evictions right now, that is also impacting the nonprofit community. As unfortunate as that is, there's just not been that rotation among available units. So if we thought a few years ago things were bad, it's, I don't want to say it's a crisis level, but it's a lot worse now for folks trying to get into those affordable units. So Josie, can you kind of quantify what you're looking at from how are you having people that you can't move out of motels into stable permanent housing because of the inventory shortage? What are you all dealing with on that side?
You're spot on with that. And just a fun fact, actually FAR, I'm not sure who it was, that's who came up with Stable Homes Partnership. So our name came from somebody from FAR, by the way. So that's a fun fact. You guys named us.
So that was actually our partnership with Higashi Glazer. They're an awesome design firm downtown. I would love to claim ownership, but we all participated in some name brainstorming. And the guy was like, a housing locator, what does it even mean? That doesn't get anybody excited. So we went through a great rebranding process. And I love when I see the cool logo, because we use some funds to help make that happen. So, but you guys do all the hard work.
Oh, thank you. It takes a village. So yeah, you're correct. In the beginning of the pandemic, I remember my servant leader, Megan Cotter, showed me the list of the evictions coming up. And when I looked at it, it was a lot of apartment complex, but also names that we were familiar with. And I was like, oh man, this is before they were announcing that nobody's getting out because of COVID. So I was following it, went to the first court date, and it was extended. And that's when I got nervous. I was like, I really thought I was going to get a heads up here and get some inventory again because of people getting evicted. Not that we look forward to that, but we were looking at those homes, and you're right. We are short of inventory because of that reason. Also, affordable homes in the area, it's hard to keep it within the budget as well. And also keep in mind that when we move our people in, it's kind of hard to get them to move out, and they're paying on their own. They've graduated our program. They've been there. I believe our numbers are 82% of our clients that we house do not go back to homelessness after 2 years. We track them 2 years and on. They don't go back to homelessness. So they are successful. We've tapped out almost of a lot of inventory, and the landlords that do partner with us, we've taken all of their inventory, and then those that are coming available, either they can't move out because of COVID or they're not moving out because of COVID. Either way, the inventory is just not flowing as fast. We have had good partnerships with with new landlords. We've obtained some new ones through this effort. We're really excited about that. And the apartments are, they keep us in mind. We have great relationships with them, and they keep us posted as soon as they are able to turn an apartment, but we just don't have 95 apartments available, not at the price point that we need, or single family homes or 1 bedrooms. So with that being said, we're also open to basement apartments. We're also open to renting maybe an extra bedroom you may have and open it to someone in our community. Again, they don't come alone. They come with a social worker. It's not as scary. It's not as scary as you think in a stranger. I've made lifetime friendships here from our guests. It's like we're used to calling each other what, customer, client. These are our guests. They're coming into our community. It's different. It's a different feel. It's not a homeless shelter. And even at the homeless shelters, they still build their communities around it. I shared at another interview that I can walk. I mean, I've grown up here, but I can walk from Princess Anne Street all the way from Lafayette to Jefferson Davis Highway. And I can run across 5 of our guests and see them from when I first seen them to where they are now, working in our community. Great people, people that can really, truly just relate to so many different walks of life. And that's what you gain. You gain a true community. You can be part of their family, per se, because they don't have it. You know, we don't all go homeless because of money. You know, we're one paycheck away or one medical tragedy away from it. I mean, it's amazing. I've met doctors, I've met engineers, veterans that are highly ranked. And I'm not talking about petty officers or privates. I'm talking about retired 20-something years in the military, and their community failed them. So it's to answer your first question, we are short of inventory. There's just not enough. You know, we've got to get creative. That's why I always say in my interviews, if there's a vacant home somewhere, and you're scared to rent it because somebody's going to get over on you with all these rules, we're not. Clay, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Josie, thank you so much for all that you're doing. It's awesome. And thanks for the opportunity for Micah folks to come in here, or, you know, all Stable Homes Partnership to come in and talk about this. I had actually, you know, I called Dawn when we were, you know, trying to form some type of plan, because we realized inventory is so tight. We get that. Okay. I mean, it's not affordable. People can't afford it. People go homeless. You know, I mean, that's we're talking like, you know, in that realm. But we decided, you know, with this lack of inventory, lack of inventory plus the new laws as far as, you know, you cannot discriminate on source of income, you know, so there's a little bit of unease there on those who own over 4 homes. And then we have the CARES Act funding, which has dumped funding to our community to make this happen. So we decided to get really, really aggressive on, we're not just asking for goodwill. I mean, that's great. If it's calling in your landlord's hearts to help those most in need, and that's it, that'd be great. We understand that's not enough. We're offering you cash money to the landlords to help, you know, incentivize this thing to hopefully jumpstart this relationship that we want to be ongoing for years and years and years, which is kind of, it's been there, but it hasn't been, we want to ramp it up, and we have the ability to do so. I know Josie's got plenty of landlords that she could also get your folks in contact with as far as like a review, or just to say like, hey, like checks are in the mail every month. Like, I don't worry about this, you know? And so I think there is some type of ability for her to kind of give you some peer-to-peer recommendations that I think would be helpful. And also, I think, you know, for me as a realtor, I need to show value to my clients all the time. And sometimes that's giving them the best deal possible, or giving them, you know, advice that will save them in the long run, which also helps my relationship. If I'm able to go to a landlord and say, look, here's an option. We can list your property. It'll take you 1 month's rent. We'll have 5 applications. We'll have to deal through that. Then we'll roll the dice on somebody. Or we'll save the first month's rent. You keep that because we're not marketing this thing. I've got Josie over here. She's going to give you an extra month's rent. All of a sudden, I've given my client a ton of value just by being kind and showing them this program. So I hope that, you know, any property manager here would look at this as like a real investment in their relationship with their landlord, long term. So just keep it in mind, and then you'll be managing more properties than you know what to do with once we get this all going. But I don't know. Just that was my 2 cents.
So I don't want to.
That was a whole $1. Forget it, 2 cents. That was amazing. Thank you, Clay. Clay, do you want to share a little bit? I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, Josie, I don't want to put any of my property manager on the spot if nobody's willing to share, but what's sort of the mentality of the folks that you're representing right now? Are they looking for something like this, or what's going on with your portfolios now? Are you seeing turnover? Are you not seeing turnover? Are you, you know, what are you seeing among those landlords that you're working with? Do you think there would be openness to participating in a program like that for folks who maybe hadn't thought about that? Because I know a lot of you all represent individual homeowners. You're not representing huge investors that have 50 properties. You're representing the folks who bought and, you know, are going to leave for a while, maybe come back, or just keeping it as investment, or couldn't sell, or whatever. Anybody have any folks you might be able to share what they're thinking?
And just so you know, we on Stable Homes Partnership Facebook page, we do share testimonies from some of the landlords that are active with us. And also know that before this Keys for Christmas even came to play and active as of October 1st, we had our board of realtors and other community influencers and motivators and mentors that guided me as well the organizations to how we can form this program to benefit the community, not just our guests. And you as realtors and things like Clay is one of our leaders in our group that speaks on your behalf. I'm not a realtor. I'm not a property manager. I'm the housing locator, and you all probably knew me from before as a loan officer. I volunteered, but I still don't have that realtor mentality that you do. So we wanted to bring someone in. We didn't want to just say, oh, we're a nonprofit. You have to help us. None of that. We really catered this towards to benefit the whole picture, everyone involved. My servant leader and my supervisor here, she did mention something to me that really stuck to me, that once the evictions do happen, we're gonna have more problems. It's not just about they're tying up the properties. What's gonna happen to that part of the community, right? We've never seen that many come out into eviction court. So we've got other stages that we're gonna go through. Another thing, I keep calling social worker, I'm sorry, it's the wrong name. Case manager or housing navigator is not a social worker. And our case manager, and the reason why specifically it's not a social worker, it's a case manager. This is more of a relationship, a relational management of the community. It's not, check here, what are you 1, 2, 3, are you stressed? Or, they get to form a relationship with them and see where they're at. So I just want to go back to that. But I have one a private owner that whenever he gets a property, he calls us. I mean, he's very loyal. He believes in this mission, in the ministry, and he's had great experiences for years. And even he's telling me, he was like, man, I'm looking for more houses. I would love to buy more houses that's affordable for you. There's just nothing in the market staying on long enough. I mean, that as selling property out there. Imagine also looking for investors to buy those properties to then turn around and rent it to us. They want to do it. We have a lot of people that are asking us, do you know the inventory? Can I turn over a property? I had another gentleman, a private owner, show me a house. I don't know how habitable it is, but I want to be part of this program. Unfortunately, the house was not habitable enough to do the program, but he did turn over 3 other properties to us. 4, we have obtained 3 out of the 4. He was really excited. It was a situation where he did not have a property manager, so he didn't feel confident enough to do it on his own. But after talking through it and really seeing what we have to offer and how we're involved to the program and the process, him and his family decided to go along with us, and we now have obtained 3 new units from him. Had 4 offers, but again, 1 was not quite ready. But even that, we're still talking about other projects that we can do with the program, with the community, that home is somehow going to benefit the community. And again, apartments, we're building new apartments, but have you priced those apartments? I mean, half of them you have to make 3 times the income to qualify to get in there. The average minimum, wage around here, if you're starting over, you're not going to be able to afford a $1,600 to $1,800 apartment. It's just not going to happen. So, we're just short. It's inventory. I think I do believe that there's still vacant homes out there, and there's still owners that are scared to rent because of right now, because they're scared they're going to put someone in there and they're not going to pay. I uncovered 3 houses like that. This guy was really afraid of renting because he was afraid that somebody was going to just move in, and then 2 months later they're not going to pay, and the courts weren't going to back him up. And he trusted us, and now we're turning over three households are going to be housed in 3 vacant homes right in our area due to fear. So I definitely think that we're short of inventory. However, I do believe there's some out there. There's somebody who has an in-law suite that could use an extra income. We're not going to put you in harm's way. I promise you that. You don't come by yourself, but you could have a basement. Did your kids go to college? Do you just have extra room somewhere? I rented my basement to Airbnb. If I wasn't in the organization, I would have definitely rented my basement to Micah, but I couldn't do that. And my house is just too big. So my amazing realtor, Linda Murray, sold my home and gave me a new start, and I moved downtown closer to my community, which is like a dream come true. And I think this is what makes me successful in what I do. I live amongst my community and my neighbors. But somebody has a basement. You guys, we really got to come together. We can do month-to-month, 6-month leases, or even a year lease. We're flexible, but we are short of inventory. Again, either we've tapped out the realtors we currently have, or the new ones are just either too nervous to come forward because they might not have you guys to back them up. There's owners out there that don't know what they're doing by themselves.
Could I ask a question? Can I ask a question just to maybe Dawn or some of the any of the property managers on the call? We do believe this product, if you want to call it a product, this campaign with the incentives, with I think we've also talked to 516 Project about helping out with small repairs. You've got the month-to-month or monthly visits from a case manager and that kind of support. We have the product there. That we think a landlord, when given the option between rolling the dice on tenant Z and versus a MICA client who is supported by the entire community, the product is there, the incentives are there, but what can we do, what can Josie do that she's not already doing to get in front of you when you have that, then you have that dialogue with that landlord? What can we do to have a chance with every single landlord that you talk to? What can we do to be an option? Any idea?
While Josie was talking, I've written several notes because I have quite a few questions. If I could just kind of run through them and then we just hit them, because it kind of hits to what you're asking, Clay.
Okay, thank you.
I would just bear with me. First of all, the Facebook page, just where can we find you on Facebook? That's one thing. Also, I was wondering why you are under the impression there's going to be some sort of eviction flood, because myself personally, I manage quite a few doors and I am dealing with 5 people right now who are behind, and we're trying to get them applied for the CARES Act funds, which that's a whole nother process. So in a percentage ratio, it's very, very small that we're trying to avoid having to go through eviction for. That was number 2. Number 3, what are your average rents that you guys like to pay out? Is there a threshold, a ceiling that you like to stay within? Because that would be good information for owners to know. Also, my last thing would be, well, actually 2 things. Your Facebook page, you say you have testimonials. Is there any, the new wave now is for video. So are there some video ones where the people who have participated as a landlord, 1, can give a video to represent how wonderful the system is? And then 2, the people who have benefit from the program doing a video so the owners can actually, have their hearts touched and feel like they'd be part of something bigger. I think that would be a good idea. And then we would also then have a resource to send our owners to when we're trying to sell it to them. I'm sold more so today than I have been in a long time on this program, but I need tools to give to my owners and say, okay, we have these availabilities, available units. I want you to go here, look at this, and tell me, are you willing to participate in this program?
Dawn, thank you so much for the questions. They're great questions. And
I love you, Dawn. You're awesome.
Love you too.
So the
Josie, can I have a minute?
Sure. Who's talking?
Stephanie Mattock.
Yes.
Yeah, Stephanie, go
Be
ahead.
quiet. I didn't say anything. Hey, everybody. I just want to say that I think one of the biggest benefits that Josie could be able to offer everyone is tracking in the history of this program. We have been working with MICA and Powerhouse, all of the local community organizations here in the Fredericksburg area for the last 10 years, I think. But especially Josie and the Rapid Rehousing Program. for at least the last 5. So we have history working with these clients, and we do know that now that Josie has taken over this particular program, it has definitely done an about face, and we have had much better statistics, and there's better tracking as far as seeing the success of the clients going through this program, as well as the success of the case management, the follow through with the managers and the clients, making sure that the clients are upholding their part of the program, going through their budgeting classes, working with the case managers to, do their employment, their, all of the tools that this organization is affording these clients to be able to maintain their new lifestyle. And that's so fantastic to watch and to see, and it really does afford someone the joy of watching them to become responsible and self-sufficient in their life, and that really does give people more than any free money, honestly.
Thank you, Stephanie.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much. It's nice to hear from your side, but thank you. And MacDoc has been amazing, very supportive to us. But I'm sorry. Yeah, well, actually, Peg wants to speak.
Good morning. I am in charge of the housing for Micah. So Stephanie knows firsthand that the case management follows the individual even after we have discharged them from the program. That's how committed we are to the individuals, to the property management, to the property owners, that we want our individuals to be successful. I often refer to our individuals as the back wheel of a bicycle, whereas whichever agency is the front wheel of the bicycle, where we have the resources, we have the knowledge, we have the case management, and the back wheel is the client themselves, where we build them up spoke by spoke. We address their mental health, their physical health, their income, their documentation, their community, their spiritual. We address the whole person. And that doesn't end when their time is up from the program. As we exit them from the program, we think that they're as stable as we could possibly get them. But as you all know, life happens and people have flat tires or they have blowouts. So we are committed to that individual because we've built that relationship, not only with the individual, but with you all. And so, our clients always know that they can come back. And it might mean that we just need to give them a little bit of air in their tire, or it might mean that we have to do a whole tire change. But our case management does not stop just simply because we've discharged them from the program. And I think that is a key to you selling your individual landlords, that it is not social work, that here you go, you filled out all the right paperwork, here's your food stamps, and we're done with you. That's not how case management works. The case management works with looking at the individual, identifying their needs, getting their needs met, and looking at the household, because we're committed to you. So we have 2 things that we're doing, the individual and your property. And that is something that individual landlords are not going to get without a program, without case management. Individual landlords are going to be able to get a tenant, but you don't have any support for that tenant. Whereas with these programs, you do get that extra support.
So we've had 2 questions come up in the chat. One is, what is the area of housing needed throughout the region? And then a second question came up about, are these folks actively looking on their own for housing, because they've never been asked to participate from a potential tenant? So either.
I want to first address Dawn's questions and go in order, if that's okay. Dawn, I received the information. I only go into the website to see how many evictions are happening, knowing the landlords that are there, the private landlords, and then talking to them, they're sharing distress with me. So I don't have any statistics per se, but that's what we fear from the feedback we're getting back from private landlords as well as apartment complexes, not so much as property managers. Our budget is usually between under 900 for a 1-bedroom, under 11 to 1200 for a 2-bedroom, and under 15 for a 3+ bedroom. That's usually a price point that I'm seeing. I've been on board since July of last year, and that's the average rent for me within all 4 agencies. And to share with you, we are on Facebook as Stable Homes Partnership. On there, we have shared live testimonies from partners as well as recipients. The recipients' testimonies and things of that nature, you'll find more on Micah Ministries website. Website as well as Facebook page. For Stable Homes, right now our efforts are for this, but we don't want to put our people on mainstream right now. It's almost like when you volunteer at the food bank, you go around live and showing their faces while they're in line to get food, or do we just show the move that we're doing in the cause and we support them as a community? I don't feel motivated by doing the live video while I'm signing their lease on their first home in a long time, and those children are heartbroken because they finally get their own bed. Not the time for it. So I don't believe that that's the season right now, but we have been gathering with the efforts of volunteers, and we have brought someone on staff that has been documenting the process from day one. So we have great pictures to show as the results, but right now, I'm utilizing the platform. We're utilizing the platform to share our movement, share our testimonies from our landlords, and sharing just how the process works. Because right now, the 95 homes in 90 days is our main goal. But Dawn, I do agree. People do need to hear their stories. They need to hear their testimonies. My efforts right now is getting them in a home, but we're still documenting that. So that will be coming more polished, not just raw with tears.
We put the Facebook link up in the chat if anybody wants to hop over.
Thank you.
Grab that link.
That makes total sense. I get where you're coming from on that. I mean, that's a very compassionate point of view, and I didn't think about it that way for sure. So I appreciate you pointing that out.
No problem. Did I answer your questions, Dawn?
Yes, ma'am, you did. I appreciate it.
No problem. And I'm like the kid. I'm the kid with where's the squirrel at? Somebody else asked me a question. I'm sorry if I didn't write it down.
So the area that housing's needed, and then are folks looking on their own independently? Because this manager has said that they were never asked by a prospective tenant to participate in a program like this.
Yeah, well, it's not for the client to ask for this program. This program is like I would say like the bicycle wheel. Can you speak on this, please?
So the clients that we serve through all of the agencies, through our COC, whether it be Empower House, Hope House, or Micah, we prioritize clients. Any person who is experiencing a housing crisis, they go through a central intake. And from that central intake, it is determined what interventions need to take place. Are they able to self-resolve? A term I'm not real fond of, but are they able to figure this out on their own? Or do they need intervention from one of the agencies? And then we prioritize, and from that prioritization list, so to speak, that's where each agency takes the lead on it. If it's a family, then they go to Hope House. If it's individuals, they'll come to Micah. If it's domestic violence, they'll go to Empower House. And then we literally start from that list. So anybody that is experiencing any kind of housing crisis whatsoever, whether they're part of our program or not, all agencies, everybody that knows anything in the COC will direct individuals to that one centralized telephone number so that we know that they're there. And from there, we just have to we have to have a system to be able to prioritize.
Our region is what? Fredericksburg, Spotsylvania, Caroline County, King George, City of Fredericksburg, and Stafford. That's our area. So the continuum of care, there's different continuum of care. That's what we say, the COC, throughout the nation. In our Fredericksburg region, it's located on Princess Anne here, downtown Fredericksburg, but it serves the surrounding counties in the area. So we won't go far as Culpeper. We won't go any further north in Stafford, any further west in Spotsy. Kim, I see you want to say something.
So I think what Don's asking, we've talked about this a little bit before when we've met with some folks, is just like where the demand comes from. People generally, and this might not be true for your folks, but do they generally want to be closer to downtown or on a Route 1 or Route 3 corridor? They want that access to public transportation, to job centers.
That's it. I would say about 60 to 70% of our people do not have transportation, and we all know that in Virginia, if you don't have a car, you're almost at the mercy of public transportation, Ubers, and things like that we have more of now. But
so the other thing of interest is too that before the pandemic, everybody wanted Fredericksburg because of the community meals and because of the community food pantries. Now that they're in hotels, food is being delivered to them. So the food pantries and being downtown is not necessarily as high of a priority as it was back before March. Transportation, as Josie said, is the number one big thing, is that it needs to be on a bus line. The majority of them don't have driver's licenses, don't have a possibility of getting driver's licenses for a long time. And so the bus or a bicycle are their means of transportation. So
Okay.
rural areas is not a good thing.
I'm sorry?
Okay, property managers, you all know your properties. If you've got folks who own along some of those corridors that are, more accessible than others, we're not necessarily looking for a 5-acre equestrian farm, out in Spotsylvania. It's probably not that it might not fit somebody's needs, but might not be for this target program.
Correct. I recently showed a property out by Orange. It was Spotsylvania. It was way too far. That sense of community, again, we're a village. So we've given so many resources that they don't want to leave us, and we don't want to be that far from them. We want to have it somewhere where the case manager, housing navigator can visit every couple weeks, and just, when something comes up and they just want someone to talk to, they're able to get there. So that's why we keep in our area. But I would say 22407, 22408, 22405, 22406, and 22401 are hot. That's the hot market right there. The Fred bus goes there. As you notice, I didn't say Garrisonville. The buses don't quite get there. King George, not quite as much. So those areas, Spotsylvania, anything that says Fredericksburg, Virginia, right? Not quite the city, but it's that Fredericksburg region. That's where we want to stay at. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, any final questions for the folks from MICA? Well, Josie, thank you so much for being here this morning. I know it's a lot to have people pepper you with endless questions, but we really appreciate it. And the more information that these folks can get, the more information they can give to their property owners, and hopefully the more help we can get y'all. You're doing great work. We really appreciate you sharing with us and for us to be a small part of it.
Thank you. And my phone number is the MICA phone number. So and it's also the number that we advertise is for the COC and Stable Homes Partnership. It's 540-760-3310. No question is a dumb question. I don't expect for you to know what we do, but I expect for you to trust me to educate you on what we do and how we can become partners. And my email address is Josie, Josie, at love, LOVE, walk, WALK.net.
And we just put both those in the chat. If anybody didn't have to grab them, they're right there.
Thank you. And again, if you would like for me to come out to your office, social distancing, of course, or a Skype call, and speak to maybe your leasing agents if they have questions for me, or even if you want to introduce me to anyone. I don't care if it's a potential client you want to win over. I'm bubbly. I can do a sales call with you. I promise. I'm willing to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for making it so easy for folks. Appreciate
No
that.
problem. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments before we say goodbye? Well, thank you all for your time and attention today. We appreciate it. And certainly if you have any follow-up things, if you hang up and an hour later you think of a question you should have asked, please email me or Josie. We'll make sure that we get that resolved. And it's probably someone else has the same question. So don't be shy. Dawn, I saw you unmute.
Just to say thank you. I appreciate all the great information, and I'm going to do what I can to, get you guys some units.
Thank you, Dawn.
All right, thank you. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of the sun today before the rain moves in tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.